Hey, Nick Hodge here with Foundational Profits, and I wanted to run through what you can expect in the October issue for that publication, the premium October issue. I should add, I go into what's worked so far this year, which hasn't been much, as we see the S&P down some 24% and the NASDAQ down more than a third for the year as we head into the fourth quarter. But what has worked, at least as it relates to hedge funds, has been macro themed hedge funds as opposed to stock pickers. So talking about asset allocation strategies across different assets like the dollar, bonds, and gold, versus picking individual stocks, most of which that have had, frankly, their asses handed to them over the course of the year. And I outline our strategy as far as how we're going to go into the end of this year and what we can expect next. I talk about where we are and where we're going. That means diving into current earnings for the S&P. We've got Q3 earnings that are coming out. I talk about what sectors of the market and not just stocks are performing, including the US dollar. And I talk about how long it's going to take for us to get out of this current bear market that we're in. Hint, hint. I don't think the fat bears are going to hibernate this year. We've still got a lot of downside ahead. There is still historic overvaluation when it relates to the major indexes. If you look at the PE ratio of the S&P or the price to sales ratio of the S&P, it's still not even back down to its historical average. You've got a wealth effect that is disappearing. People have spent their stimulus money. People have spent their paycheck protection plan money. And that's translating into lower earnings for stocks, which the major indices continue to discount. You've got a CPI number that will be out for September by the time you see this. And you've got a Q3 GDP number coming out later in October that's going to be closer to 1% than 3%. And that means we're in an economic contraction cycle that's going to last for a couple of more quarters. But there is some good news, at least relatively. I give a commodity update. I take a look at a long-term chart of the CRB commodity index, look at its past cycles, its bullish cycle from the early 90s to around the 2008 timeframe, and then how it has come down from 2008 to 2020 and why it is now in a renewed long-term uptrend that will last at least a decade, but not with fits and starts. Premium members will learn more about those fits and starts and what they mean for their portfolio and what they can do about it. And speaking of portfolios, I go through our portfolio. I give call outs as it relates to what's cheap, what I've added more of over the past month as we head into the year, and a little bit of outlining my allocations overall for my retirement portfolios as far as what percentage allocations I have to different asset classes and portfolio recommendations. And we'll close it out with a letter to the editor about gold, how I own it, in what form, in what percentages, and what sort of recommendations I have as far as coins and gold stocks. It's all in the October issue of Foundational Profits. If you're not already a premium subscriber, it's well worth the small investment to get the monthly issues and the special reports that allow you to peek over my shoulder as I manage my personal retirement wealth for myself and my family, as you should be doing for yours. So fill out the form below to become a member today.